Hello, my name is Mekaylah Bell. So, I'm willing to bet that everyone here has at least one really bad habit that keeps them from being productive. All of us have probably had an experience where we have made the wrong choices and ended up in a sticky situation, such as having to present an unfinished project or something along those lines. Whether that bad habit may be watching too much Netflix or putting too much time into social media, we all have distractions. I must admit, since I have been in high school, I have always struggled with prioritizing and making smart decisions that will always benefit me long term. We all have times where we want to take a break from our responsibilities. However, we must limit how long these pleasures last, as they can become quite addicting and distract us from our goals. Today I will tell you all about two examples of giving in to temptation that result in a big mess. First, I would like to explain Aesop's fable, The Flies and the Honey, demonstrate a fatal instance of giving into temptation. Then I will share my own personal story related to this. First off, let's discuss the Aesop's fable, The Flies and the Honey. So, Aesop's fable, The Flies and the Honey, is a story about just that. Flies are attracted to honey, but it teaches a lesson about temptation and desires. As retold by the website Aesop Fables, retrieved on August 29, 2021, Aesop tells a story of a sweet honey pot that draws in flies nearby. So picture a group of flies in your head. Flies get hungry when they smell something pleasant, and they will go to it without hesitation. No matter how many times we swat at them, they always find their way back to the source, which in many instances may result in their death. And in this story, as many of you can assume, the flies go straight into the honey and they get stuck with no escape, and they eventually meet their death. As we can see, Aesop's fable, The Flies and the Honey, shows us that sometimes temptation can be our downfall. Now let's look at a more relatable example of this moral. From middle school and onward, I struggled with time management skills and prioritizing. Now, I was always told that the bad habits that we develop in middle school will follow us into high school, which turned out to be true for me. Procrastinating became a huge problem of mine, just like many others. Many people, including myself, have probably had to throw something together in a small amount of time. In this scenario, it was my Spanish project. So during this time that I had to prepare for my Spanish project, I had a lot of important deadlines coming up for other classes as well, but I had poor time management and organization. But basically, I couldn't give it my all. Because of my distractions, I didn't finish my Spanish project until the last minute. In fact, I didn't finish until the morning it was due. I had a lot of speedy research to do. I worked cited, etc. I did finish it on time, but it was obvious that I didn't give it my all, but I still managed to get a passing grade. From this experience, I have learned that being organized and prioritizing the right things is an essential life skill to have. I learned that the only person who was making my life difficult was myself. As explained in Aesop's fable, and through me sharing my own personal experience, it is always up to us to make smart decisions and to not always give in to temptation, because it can result in a disaster that can have negative short or long-term effects. Like Tom Brady once said, too often in life something happens and we blame other people for us not being satisfied or fulfilled. We all have a choice, and we make the choice to accept people or situations or not to accept situations. Thank you for listening. Are there any questions?